Two wing-mounted Pratt & Whitney 2037 engines provide thrust for the 757. The engines are two-spool axial flow high bypass ratio type engines. Both engines incorporate a full authority electronic engine control fly-by-wire system that controls all aspects of engine operation. Engine performance indications are electronically displayed on the ICAS screens. Standby engine indications are located adjacent to the ICAS screens. Engine fuel controls and indicators are located on the pedestal. Starting and ignition controls and indicators are located on the overhead panel. Let's now look at the fuel and oil systems for the power plant. The fuel system is typical of those used by high-bypass turbofan engines. Fuel flow indications are displayed on the lower ICAS screen in pounds per hour with a pointer and corresponding digital readout. A two-position engine fuel control switch operates a spar and engine fuel valve for each engine. In the cutoff position, the valves are commanded closed. Selecting the engine fuel control switch to run opens the spar and engine valves to provide fuel to the engine. Click on the left fuel control switch to select the run position. The spar valve light and the engine valve light are located above the fuel control switches. These lights illuminate whenever there is a disagreement between a valve and the selector position. In addition, an associated ICAS message appears. The ICAS message is inhibited during the engine start. Now let's discuss the engine oil system. The oil system is also typical of most oil systems used for high bypass ratio type engines. The engine oil indications appear on the lower ICAS screen. Digital readouts display the actual value of each indication. The white vertical lines provide a reference to show the normal operating ranges. The white pointers show the relative value of each oil indication. When oil pressure drops into the amber caution range, the pointer and digital readout turn amber. When oil pressure drops below the minimum operating limit, the pointer and digital readout turn red. Maximum displayed oil pressure is 200 psi. However, actual oil pressure may be greater. Oil pressure lights for each engine are located on the center panel below the standby engine indicator. An oil pressure light illuminates when oil pressure decreases below the minimum operating limit for that engine, accompanied by an engine oil pressure advisory message. Should an oil filter become obstructed, an engine oil filter advisory message appears. This indicates that unfiltered oil is being used to lubricate the engine. Located below the oil pressure indicators are the oil temperature indicators. The temperature indicators have an amber band and a red line maximum limit. Operation of the power plant in the amber band is limited to 15 minutes. Engine operation at or above the red line limit is not permitted. Located below the oil temperature indicators are the oil quantity indicators. The quantity indicators sense oil quantity at the tank, which has a capacity of 22 quarts. When the pointer decreases into the white band at the lower end of the vertical line, the oil quantity is low. If an abnormal condition related to oil pressure, temperature, or quantity is sensed, all of the oil indications are automatically displayed. Now let's look at some additional ICAS indications associated with engine performance. Located below the oil quantity indicators are the engine vibration indicators, which receive vibration information from the N1 and N2 compressors. Engine vibration is displayed in a vertical format with pointers and digital readouts indicating the vibration level. During normal operation, the vibration indicators display the compressor with the highest vibration level. A failure in the vibration monitoring system results in an average engine vibration level being displayed above the indicators. This average reading is referred to as the broad band. The engine vibration indicators have no exceedance limits or automatic display provisions. Primary indications associated with engine performance are normally split between the upper and lower ICAS screens. White arcs identify normal operating ranges for these indicators. Located at the top of the upper ICAS screen is the engine pressure ratio, or EPR indicator. The EPR indicator displays actual engine thrust with a pointer and corresponding digital readout. EPR is used as the primary indications for setting and monitoring engine thrust. When the throttles are moved, the difference between the commanded thrust and actual EPR is displayed as a white arc. This arc is called the command sector. The command sector disappears as the actual EPR approaches the commanded EPR. The command sector aids in visually monitoring engine acceleration or deacceleration. A computed thrust limit is also displayed as an amber line on the periphery of the EPR indicator. This limit is the maximum certified thrust for all phases of flight and varies with existing ambient conditions. This value is acquired from the electronic engine control or the thrust management system. With the electronic engine control thrust limit protection operative, the throttles can be moved to the forward stop and the engines will not exceed the displayed limit. In addition to the computed thrust limit, the selected reference thrust setting is displayed as a digital readout and reference bug. Reference thrust will be discussed in detail in the thrust management system. Located below the EPR indicators are the N1 indicators, which display the percent RPM of the low-pressure compressor. A moving white pointer and a digital indicator show actual N1. At the top of the arc is a red radial line indicating the maximum operating limit. N1 operation at or above this limit will cause the digits and pointer to turn red. Located beneath the N1 indicators are the exhaust gas temperature indicators. When EGT enters the caution range, the pointer and digits turn amber. When EGT exceeds the red line limit, the pointer and digits turn red. Maximum EGT during engine start is 485 degrees, and is indicated by a red radial. The max EGT radial is displayed until the engine is stabilized at idle RPM. During takeoff or go-around, engine operation with the EGT in the caution range is permitted for up to 5 minutes. The EGT caution range is inhibited for 5 minutes once the amber range is entered. Operation of the engine with EGT above the red line maximum limit is not permitted. The N2 indicators are located above the fuel flow indicators at the top of the lower ICAS screen. The N2 display, which shows the percent RPM of the high-pressure compressor, is identical in operation to the N1 display. When N1, EGT, or N2 reaches or exceeds the red line operating limit, the exceedance value appears in small white numbers below the large digital readout. The numbers in the box turn white when the value decreases to normal. This exceedance information is automatically recorded by the ICAS systems. The digits are erased from the ICAS display by pushing the max indicator reset switch on the ICAS control panel. Although this removes the exceedance indication from the ICAS displays, the information is stored for maintenance use. If either of the ICAS screens fail, all engine parameters will be displayed on the remaining screen. A standby engine indicator with a 2-position selector is located on the captain's panel. In the auto position, the standby indications are displayed automatically when there is an ICAS failure. Normal AC power is lost, both ICAS screens fail, and on the ground with a single ICAS screen and the status page selected. Positioning the selector to on displays the standby indications at all times. Maximum limits are displayed in red on each side of the instrument.